Hello everyone, this is Johnny Crass, and we are going to try something new and fun today. I don't know if this will turn out or not, but here is to hoping. So pretty much, I've been asked if, to give some thoughts on, just different army books and different insight into Warhammer. So I thought I'd give it a shot, give it a go, do a video just blabbing, kind of, because you know how much I like to talk. I love to talk. It's kind of my thing. So I thought I'd just talk about how I view vampire counts in the current tournament scene and current meta game, pretty much. So first off, we should probably cover the different kind of meta builds for vampire counts. So there's the Screamer build. Everyone knows the Screamer build. 2 Terrorgeists, maybe a Banshee or 2, Death Magic, Aura of Dark Majesty, pretty much quasi-leadership bomb, and then just scream all your important units off the table. So, that's one build. Another build is, the regen builds. So it's like 2 Mortis engines, 1 or 2 big units of Crypt Horrors. Ghouls are normally the popular core for this because they have toughness 4 and they become really good with 5-up regen. You'll see a Ghoul King normally, because Ghoul Kings are better than Vampire Lords in almost every sense. You might see a Vargulf. You'll probably see some Vargeists, because Vargeists are amazing. You'll probably not see a Vargulf in a competitive list, because he's overpriced. He should not be the same points as a Hydra. He should be like 25 less, 150. That would be really good for a Vargulf. But yeah. Then of course there's the now infamous Cav bus, which is your 12 to 14 Black Knights, couple vampire characters, Vampire Lord, Baby Vampire. They're all just blenders. And then Vampire Lord's usually a level 4. All he does is damage control on the Black Knight unit. And pretty much the Black Knight unit just transports the vampires into close combat, and then the vampires pull their own weight. This is probably... And then, of course, there's 1 or 2 Terrorgeists in the list, and core is to taste. This is probably the most stable and reliable vampire counts build, is the Black Knight bus. Just because regardless of the army you play, it'll play the exact same way. You just cram it down someone's throat. So those are kind of the builds those are the templates that most people start off on. Our lists are really make and break in the characters and the rare choice I'm finding. Our special is cut to taste. Our core is cut to taste. But our characters and our rare really make our book. Now, like my Ghoul King list, which I have a video talking about, my Ghoul King list is a play on the regen list. Yeah, it's a play on the regen list, in that it uses the 2 Mortis engines to give all my combat blocks the 5-up regen. Steering wheel's in my way right now. To give all my combat blocks the 5-up regen. And yeah, it's a pretty strong... Mortis engines are pretty strong. They're really great for their points. Like, really great for their points. Like, yeah, they're they're not that... They're not a killy unit, and some players in Fantasy have problems when your unit's not uber killy or something, but it's a support piece. It's like a Hurricanum, it's like a Luminarch, it's like, what's it called? A War Shrine, and it's a support piece. But also, what it can do is when it dies, it explodes. And later the turn, the harder, like, the more hardcore the explosion. So, what you want to do... I'm getting some lens flare here. What you want to do is you want it to live for long enough that it can die and actually do something in the game. Because a couple D6 Strength 1 hits aren't going to do jack. But Strength 5, Strength 6, you're going to tear someone up. Yeah. So, those are kind of the template builds. Now, I've done a review on the Vampire Counts book, so this is more going to be talking about how the list I see as pretty strong right now, and what I'm seeing, like, looking at tournaments, looking at tournament reports, looking at, like, the UK Masters list roster, and that kind of stuff. So, while we're on the subject of the Masters, I'll just talk about the Vampire Counts there. There was, I believe, just one Vampire Counts player. If there was two, I'm sorry, I can't remember the other guy's list. But, his name's Chris Legg, I believe. I may be wrong, but I know his last name's Legg. I'm pretty sure. And he was doing, Black Knight Bus with a White King BSB, a Vampire Lord, and a Vampire Hero with Sword of Anti-Heroes. And I think it was like 12 Black Knights. I'm pretty damn sure it was 12 Black Knights. So that was kind of, he's going for the Black Knight bus. There were no Terrorgeists in the list. Wait, there might have been one Terrorgeist, but it wasn't two, because it's under Swedish comp, and there's no way to reliably fit two Terrorgeists in there without just crapping all over your comp score. But then he was running 2 3s of Vargeists. Skeleton bus with +1 move banner, which I'm seeing become more and more popular. And honestly, I might switch over to it, because I really like the idea of +1 move banner on skeletons. I think it's cool. Then he's running... it looked like a big zombie unit, as well as the big skeleton bus. I'm not sure he was running Ghoul. I don't actually think he was running Ghoul. And then he had Vargeists and some other kind of chaff. And he was doing pretty well, I've got to say. Like, yeah, he was doing fairly well. The Vargeists are a lot stronger. Like, they're kind of overlooked in our book, I believe. Because they're contending with, like, Graveguard, they're contending with Terrorgeists. Well, not really contending, but, like, the Spotlight is kind of contending. Like, they don't even take up the same slot as the Terrorgeist, but they're contending for the Spotlight on, like, what the internet thinks is atrocious. And the thing is, Vargeists are pretty atrocious themselves. Like, they have no defensive stat besides Toughness 4 and Skirmishers. But they are insanely fast, and they have really, really high damage output. Like, 4 Strength 5, Weapon Skill 4, Initiative 4 attacks, and then a Stomp is really good for their points. They're the same points as, a Minotaur, whatever you want to call it. Except, I would say they are infinitely better than a Minotaur. And, of course, that's really easy because Minotaurs are not that great. But they're also better than Man-Eaters, by far. Like, hand over fist better than Man-Eaters. Better than Ushopti. Better than, well, they're not better than Trolls. Trolls are just fucking atrocious. but they're better than the rest of that. So, yeah, you can butter that any way you want. I would also say that the skeleton bus being swiftness is actually pretty nice because it can kind of keep up with the Black Knight Star. The Black Knight Star can always pull its weight. I mean, it might not kill its points, but you're not going to get points out of it. It's going to be just too difficult to grab all the points that are in that unit. Just because of raising, just because of all that kind of fun stuff. So, you can take that how you will, pretty much. And he did fairly well. If memory serves, he came in 3rd place in the UK Masters. Behind an Ogre player, of course, because Ogre players are atrocious. I mean, the Ogre list wasn't that atrocious, so I've got to give him props. The Ogre player played a fantastic couple of games from what I can tell. But it's still Ogres. Ogres are still a really strong book. I kind of find VC are a hard counter to Ogres, but I'm probably going to do a video on that later. Just because, yeah, why not? I enjoy rambling and talking about the books I play and the books I love. So, there's that. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, so those are the kind of lists I'm seeing doing well at tournaments, is the whole Black Knight Star. But I'm hoping to see an insurgence of, like the Mortis engine, the regen, because I think that is actually where the strength in our book really lies. I mean, Black Knights are insanely good. Vampire Lords being guarded by toughness 4, 2 upraisable models is really strong. But I think a 5-up regen at the end of the day for our basic core is going to actually win out as far as tournament play goes. Yeah. Now, the one thing to note about this is, I have, gotten Best General at a local tournament. Oh, wow, now there's really hardcore lens flare. I've gotten Best General at a local tournament with, Black Knight Bus and Double Terrorgeist. I hate to say it, but I have. And I don't know, it's a strong build. It's still gonna do really well. But I think what you're gonna see is an insurgence of a different kind of vampire count. Kind of vampire count that's gonna rely on being tough and being durable and just outlasting instead of cramming like an almost 1,000-point unit down your throat and just hoping you choke to death on it. Yeah, so that's kind of my little ramble. I don't even know if this video is going to make it to YouTube. This is kind of a first for me, recording in the car. I might do this when I drive down to, Quake City Rumble and Bay Area Open. I don't know yet. It's up in the air right now for me. So, until next time, because I am at the game store, until next time, this is Johnny Cress. Goodbye.